Can't key up and talk because I have given him the warning as to what Audie has told me. So, but he's probably gone for a nap now. You know what Mike's like.
Yeah.
Hey Keith, how you doing? Long time no see. He's not talking to me now. Look.
Ground, Lufthansa 423 Heavy, request taxi.
Lufthansa 423 Heavy, Monster Ground, Roger, runway 22 left, taxi via Lima.
Yeah, Keith trains,
Runway 15 right, hold short, 15 left.
I think I'll get it. Sea Cadet Corps.
Yes. Oh, wow. Yes, I'd met, sorry, you weren't talking to me.
Yeah, I was explaining to Delta and Ed. Yeah, he's over in California, I believe.
Alpha 1, thank you, A4, yeah.
Lufthansa 423 Heavy, cross runway 15 right, hold short, runway 15 left.
We confirm, crossing runway 15 right, hold short runway 15 left, Lufthansa 423, and just to be sure,
Ooh.
we don't need to contact
I like that, that website.
It's nice, isn't it?
It is very nice. Oh yeah, cool.
It's far from finished, but I'm getting there. The adverts will be removed as well.
Well, considering you've only been on there, last couple of hours? 2-3 hours?
Starting number
Right. Be right back. I'm going to make this phone call to order my Chinese.
Engine 2 is stabilized.
Roger,
Gear 3187, if you pick up the taxi speed, that would be...
Engine 1 is stabilized.
JetBlue, Airbus, understand you're ready to tow.
That's a good start on both engines. All systems are normal. Thanks for your help and all clear. We'll see you for the signal on the right, please.
Thank you.
Roger, 2 good starts, all clear signals, see you on the right.
After start checklist.
engine mode selector,
Check normal.
APU bleed,
Set off.
APU master,
Set off.
ground spoilers,
Set.
rudder trim,
Checked 0.
pitch trim,
Set.
flight controls,
Full left. Full right. Neutral. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
flaps,
2.
anti-ice,
Off.
ECAM status,
Checked.
ECAM door page,
Checked.
hand signal,
Received.
checklist complete.
Taxiing checklist.
No flight,
Set on.
Be right back.
brake check,
500 climbing 14,000, hello.
brake check,
Pedal press. Checked 0.
check, auto brakes,
25 cross runway 15 left.
Max.
takeoff data,
Reviewed.
FCU,
Checked.
flight instruments,
Checked.
check, TO config,
Set.
If there's anybody in here that is going to be doing the VOR and NDB session today, there is, I just put in the main terminal chat box at the bottom of TeamSpeak, what will amounts to be the flight plan, and I think it's basically designed for a Baron 58 or a Cessna 172, depending on whether, or a Cherokee 140 or something along those lines. So if you want to grab that, and if you want to join, you can spawn at standby at Thibodeau Municipal Lima 83.
I'm sorry, give way to the opposite direction, 7-4. They turned out of your way there.
And I'll get out of the fuel box. So if you want to do that, or you can spawn on the active and pull off. I don't think anybody else is here.
He's bigger enough.
Oops. Someone else was here. I just backed right through him. Sorry about that. Oh, easy.
Dan.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, not much. I just sorry I just backed through your airplane. I didn't know you were sitting behind me there.
Oh, no problem. I was loading it.
Hi, Opie.
Flight attendants, seats for takeoff.
What's up?
Before takeoff checklist.
Gonna fly a little,
Brake temperature.
Check.
bit the
Brake
old-fashioned
fans.
way, you know.
Off.
Engine mode selector.
Check
You'll be
normal.
learning about this one because you're gonna have to get your ticket, your private, and then your instrument ticket at least.
TARA, tilt above.
Right?
Exterior lights.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have
Set
this down
all
pat.
Lighting cables.
Stowed.
Stowed. Checklist.
VOR, NDB, non-precision approaches in general. You work on your own RNAV, all that, you know, you got to do one, at least one without the autopilot. So.
Takeoff. Man, toga, SRS, and runway.
Check.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, Al.
Beat 1. Rotate.
We supposed to be someplace?
Lima 83.
Positive climb.
Gear
And
up.
Gear
I,
up.
oh, let me put the link back in because you
Navigation.
just came in and you didn't see it. Stand by.
Autopilot on.
Do we need FSX open then? Yeah.
Flaps 1.
Oh yeah, most of this will be flying. There's very little
Autopilot
reading.
off.
You can, if you go to the flight training room section, the room down a ways down the line there, to VOR/NDB 2 p.m. Eastern flight training room. Click on that room. Don't double click; it'll move you. You'll see 3 files listed there, and those are some. There's some information about ADF navigation, VOR navigation, and there's also one on non-precision approach, but I don't think we'll get to that today.
Right, okay, I'll need to go grab me
Autopilot
stick
on.
then, so give me a sec.
So what I say, Lima 83.
Climb thrust. And the after takeoff checklist.
Okay, Lima 83. What country's that in?
Check normal.
Spoilers.
That's Louisiana.
The country of Louisiana. Exactly.
Retracted.
Landing
There you go,
gear.
Alan. And then
Gear up,
Lima
lights
83,
off.
and then the flight plan. It's sort of it's a bunch of sectional
Set
shots.
off.
So obviously, you can feel free to pull up your plan G or whatever. You know.
Oh, Dan and his fancy plan G.
Got to have some sort of map, so I figured I'd provide the sectionals. And like I said, if you use Plan G, wonderful.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome
I
back.
need to take Daniel to another room. I see Keith has already moved down to the VOR training room.
Yes, he has.
User was moved out of your channel. Buddy left your channel.
Are we able to use stock planes with what we're doing today then?
Yeah, like I said, these are relatively short hops for the purpose of understanding the use of the nav aids. I'm in the Baron 58, a little specially equipped with a a pair of VORs that are the same as in the Cessna 172. You got a Cherokee 140, some other single engine or light twin that you like to fly, like the Baron 58, that's fine. Easy's in his King Air 200.
No, actually I switched. I'm my PA-34.
Okay. What are you in?
I'm my Granado PA-34.
Oh, roger that. All right, so something along those lines. So, the Baron is a little quicker. I'm in it because I figure if I need to sort of get to another place a little more quickly. But you can feel free. If you like the Baron, it's a wonderful little plane to fly. If you got a single engine you like to fly, great. And the Cessna 172 won't be too slow. These hops are very close together.
I might try the Baron because I've never used that one, so I'm always up for trying new stuff.
All right. Well, yeah, but don't get yourself wrapped around something that you're not too familiar with, because the focus here will be actually using the nav aids, not so much the airplane.
All right. Okay.
But if you look at those links that are down in that room on the right hand side, if you just click once on the room, you'll see the 3 links over there, and there are some descriptions and illustrations that are from both the Baron 58 and the Cessna 172.
Alright, cool. Thank you.
Hey 747. I think 747 obviously does FSX.
Maybe he flies a real 74.
Well, yeah, but I can only give the one. I need to hear him speak though. Hey, welcome back, Opie. John, are you by chance over on Eastern? I'm just wondering whether Animator was over there.
Oh, I'm signed in. Let me see if I can find the window. I'll look.
If not, I'll message him on Facebook.
Are we logging into the server as well?
Yes.
Cool, thanks.
So we'll all be together.
Oh, that's
Hey Dan, better to come in on runway 10 or 28?
I got 8 and 26 at Thibodeau.
So are we moving down to the
You got 26 and 7, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, 8 and 26. I'm at the end of. I'm at 8. I'm going to depart to the north since that's where we're going. Keep it simple. So you want to spawn in at 8. I'm off the runway.
So what is your destination?
You can tune your. Did you grab that flight plan that's in the in the main terminal box there, the chat box of TeamSpeak?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay, so you'd see that it starts at Lima 83. Tune to the reserve VOR 110.8 megahertz and fly to it.
Are we going to move down to the other room because Keith's down there and obviously he's not going to know what's going on here.
Right, we certainly can. Down we go, everyone. Getting close.
Okay.
Yeah, close enough, right?
User left your channel.
Anybody want moving down?
User left your channel.
You going down now, or do you want moving down?
User left your channel. User
What was
left
that?
your channel.
Are you all moving down to the training room?
Okay, I will in a minute.
I can move you down if you want, if you're in the middle of something.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
User was moved out of your channel. User was moved out of your channel.
How about you, Al Kayahat? Are you doing the VOR? Okay, do you want me to move you down so at least you can hear what's going on? Yeah? They're doing a bit of VOR and NDB training.
I'm not getting that link to download to... Oh, there it is. Okay. For some reason there's a first page that's blank.
Our first stop 70 miles.
Yeah, for some reason that, I don't know why that's not showing. Let me see if I can fix it. I'll be back in just a minute.
Right, you won't have any problems with Daniel in here for the next 2 hours at least.
I got 2 Cessnas.
Izzy, are you seeing the very first page that starts here at Thibodaux and goes to reserve?
User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel.
Dan, the first page I see is blank, and then we're going to RQR.
Yeah. In that, and you're looking at it in your web browser?
I am.
Okay. You see up in the upper right it says share, download my files, and 50% off?
I see it shows. I see share and download. Yeah.
Okay. Click download it, and then open it in Acrobat. Because mine isn't showing either.
Okay.
And it shows up correctly there. I don't know why this one downloads this way. So if there's anybody that's looking at the flight plan file where the very first page is blank, look up in the upper right corner and click download the file and open it with Adobe Acrobat Reader. And you will see the first page. And if you don't have Adobe Acrobat Reader, you can download it real quick and install it, or we'll tell you which direction we're going to go.
I'm sorry, I came in a little late on this. What are we downloading?
In the, you may be, can you see in the bottom of TeamSpeak where I posted in the flight training room tab starting at L83 flight plan and then the link?
No, I probably came in after that.
Okay, there you go. Now click on that link. Mine opened up in a file browser in the first place, page was blank, and so in the upper right corner there should be a download link. You can download it and view it in Acrobat, and then you see the first page.
Gotcha.
The other helpful links are in the flight training room page on the right-hand bar there, under the Elite Premier Virtual symbol and the name of the room and so on. There are 3 links there. You see one. The first one's for ADF. The second one is VOR. That's where we're starting. The third one we may not get to today, but the ADF and VOR documents have screenshots that come from the Baron and the Cessna 172, so it'll help you understand a little bit.
Welcome back, Animator. I've just put that link in the bottom again now for you, Dan.
Oh, thank you.
Animator's just come in, so...
I appreciate that.
That's alright. Bill, can I just ask you a quick question?
Me? Yeah.
No, Bill, Animator. Where's he gone?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, he's down there.
Yeah, and I'm driving on the way back from the job. I'll be on the way back in the house in about 5 minutes.
Oh, right, okay.
All right, we'll set that link up when he changes, because it'll probably not be there when he changes computers. But it might be.
No, probably won't.
Probably not. That's right.
All right, then I'm ready whenever you are.
All right. Well, we'll see who else is gathering here. Give everybody a few minutes. I got straight up 1900 Zulu right here, so we'll wait a few minutes. You should now. Are you seeing the first page? Easy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see we're starting at L83, which is Thibodeau.
Yeah.
And we're headed to the reserve VOR, which is 110.8 megahertz. So tune your VOR to that. And it may not be live because you're sitting on the ground.
It is.
For some of us that don't know how to do that, how would you do that?
Tune the VOR?
Yeah.
To the VOR? All right. Did you grab that other document that says in the right-hand bar there? That's in this room in TeamSpeak. It's the second one. It's ends in VOR navigation.pdf.
I'm just grabbing it now. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
A little bit like a rabbit in headlights at the moment, so...
No problem. Because I can... there'll be a couple of things you'll want to know, which is turning the omni-bearing selector with the keys, which is described in the first page, but tuning your VOR is simple. In most cases you'll use nav1. Just tune nav1 to the VOR frequency and you're ready to go.
Buddy joined your channel. User joined your channel.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Audie.
Hey, Audie.
Hey, Audie.
Hey, what's going on?
We're having a party.
Having a party?
That's it, the party's over now, you've got to hit.
All right, well, glad to see everyone showed up for this training. It's definitely going to be a good one. First of a few.
User disconnected from your channel.
All right, like I said, in the right. Sounds like we're getting a few more folks. I'll wait just another few minutes.
There you go, Animator. The link's at the bottom of TeamSpeak.
Thanks, dear.
User disconnected from your channel.
Oh, 747 didn't want to stay then.
Alright, like I said, in the right-hand side of this channel is, if you're clicked on the flight training room itself, are 3 files. The middle file is the one we're starting with here, as well as the flight plan file that Kazi has reposted a couple of times now in the chat box portion, the flight training room chat box. And when everybody is ready, just give me a holler, say I'm ready, willing, able, whatever, and we'll get started.
I think there are a couple of them, Dan, which are actually doing flights, so they may be catching up with you a bit later behind, but obviously they're listening in.
Not a problem.
I'm, for one, about 60 miles out on a VA flight, but I'm listening.
Okie doke.
And I know Al Hayat is also in flight as well, so.
I'm just tinkering with the website, but I'm here listening.
Alright. Everybody else ready and to start?
Yep.
Alrighty.
I'm just listening.
Yeah, take it away, Dan.
Alrighty. Well, the document on VOR navigation has a good amount of information. Hopefully it's fairly clear. It's relatively, sort of taken the key points of VOR flying. You typically will have 2 in most FSX aircraft. You will have 2 VORs. For the most part, we'll be using VOR1. You can use VOR2 if you want. Typically, VOR1 is a primary VOR, so if you're in something like the Baron 58, VOR1 is the horizontal situation indicator, HSI, that's right in front of you with the divided needle, the center section moving right and left from the way the needle is pointed. And the second VOR is actually a radiomagnetic indicator, and you can see examples of those in that document and some information about that. The principle of VOR flying is really very simple. The direction of a VOR is termed the radial, and this is always a direction from the center of the VOR. Now that does not mean, and this is often the first point of confusion, that you do not, and in certain circumstances, like the first leg we're going to take, you actually want to fly to the VOR. So in this case, the reserve VOR is about 30 degrees east of north, so it's east-northeast of our current position. We will be departing to the north, and once you are airborne, you should begin to receive the reserve VOR. You can confirm this, and always should confirm it, by listening to the code RQR by clicking on the nav1 button that will give the audio for that. You can turn it off once you know you're on the right one. And once airborne, flying to a VOR is very simple. Will probably be somewhere. It's hard to say, but let's just say we aren't exactly, because the reserve VOR is about 30 degrees east of north from us, but we may be really pointing, say, 20 degrees. Heading a 020. You are heading in the proper nomenclature here is you are headed to the reserve VOR on the 020 radio. That is the one projecting from the VOR away. So that's a bit, sometimes a bit of confusion for folks. Nonetheless, if you're looking at the flight plan, you'll see that there's a magenta line that's labeled as 030 degrees. I will tell you now that may not exactly match what FSX has. If you were to draw that same line and say something like Plan G, we actually talk about this a little later. It's not important flying to the VOR, because if you line your needle up and point to the VOR so that the needle is centered in the case of the Cessna 172, or the center segment of the split needle in the case of like a Baron 58 is centered, you fly to that heading. You keep the needle in the middle, and if it deviates to the right, you fly to the right to move it back to the middle and start flying a little bit more to the left. It will take you right to the VOR. You do not have to, as in the GPS, return to the magenta line. In fact, if you want to, if you're looking at the sectional portion, the flight plan portion, if you want to take a little detour and fly over Lake Booth, anybody that remembers the I think it was the Cheers episode where that comes from. Not the name of the lake, but a restaurant by the same name. If you wanted to do that and then turn north, and you'd be heading almost due north, you can just point, center your needle, turn in that direction, and it'll take you to exactly the same place. It's not like GPS Direct. You do not have to move back over to the line to follow it. Questions?
Yeah, I'm hearing every word twice. Is it just me?
Say again?
Have you
Because of the server, I think.
I'm hearing every word twice.
Change your radio frequency in your FSX.
Is this you now hearing every word twice?
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
I'm confused, but I'm sure it'll come to me sooner or later.
But is there a fundamental point that you're confused about? First, the frequency, as shown, you need to be tuned to 110.80. As I said, preferably on nav1 is the usual thing.
Right, yeah, you might have to just go through it a bit further with me because I'm fairly new to this.
All right, so if you tune your, what are you flying? What aircraft are you flying?
Decided with the Cessna 172.
Okay, excellent. So you have the Bendix King radio stack, and the left-hand side is COM1 and COM2 below it, and the right-hand side half is NAV1 with NAV2 below that, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, and so you put 110.80 in the NAV1 radio and click the standby button to move that over to the active frequency. Okay, and now if you look at your VOR heads, where you have two of them, right? And you got one above the other. Are you in the virtual cockpit?
Yeah, I'm in the cockpit. I can see the two VORs, yeah.
All right. Well, you'll notice that both of those VORs, there's two. There's one that has both a nav and a glide slope, and the second one below it is your VOR2, and that just has a nav. And you'll notice that in the VOR1, glide slope has a little thing that looks kind of like a barber pole, red and white. And below the vertical needle nav also has a barber pole, red and white.
Yep, got that.
Okay, that means you are not receiving any signal at all. And the reason for that is we're sitting on the ground. And this is a phenomenon in flying with VOR that you will you'll experience it when you get on the ground. If the station is 30-40 miles away, you may not be picking it up when you're on the ground. Usually, if it's 30-40 miles away or whatever, you'll generally pick it up within a few hundred feet, so you can watch for that. So what we'll do is we'll depart runway 08 and you will find that and then first aviate. You want to get up to altitude. You can fly at 1,000 feet. It's perfectly fine. This is a relatively low country here, so you needn't go very high, and you will be picking up the VOR within the first 200-300 feet above ground level. You should pick it up. You will see that VOR come alive, and the needle will have swung one direction or another. And the OBS knob in the at the lower, typically the lower left in both the Cessna and the Baron, I believe it is both in the lower left. You will turn that knob, and you'll have a rough idea. You know that again, that where we're going is about a heading of 0.2, you'll end up somewhere between probably 0.20 and 0.30, maybe 0.40, but somewhere in that general northeasterly direction. So you turn that knob so that and everybody can do this now. It doesn't hurt if you want to rotate your Omni bearing selector knob a little bit to see that the card around it rotates, and you rotate it. Probably if it's pointing due north right now, you'll probably point it, rotate it a little to the right so it points at 0.2, 0.25 degrees, and you will see that needle begin to swing. What you do is you then center that needle, more or less, and then turn in the direction that the needle, that in the case of the 172, that card is pointing in. In the case of the Baron with an HSI, you'll turn the needle, and the needle sits within a gyro compass, and so you simply turn the aircraft to meet the needle and fly in the direction of the needle. You can recenter once you get the first turn squared away, and get yourself. You can then nudge your Omni bearing selector knob a little bit to recenter the needle. Turn your aircraft a little bit to be that last little bit of refinement of aligning directly to the VOR, in this case the reserve VOR. And then if the needle swings a little to the left, or if the segment moves on the Baron type HSI moves a little to the left, fly to the left until the needle comes back in line, or vertical in the case of the 172. Moves to the right, fly to the right, fly to the needle, and you will stay on course. And if you're watching the ground, you'll be able to see the reserve VOR. And the airport that we're going to land at, the St. John the Baptist Parish Airport, 1 Lima 0, and this is going to be 24 miles away. Questions?
Okay, one thing I wanted to just add in here, Dan, and I think Warrington was, I don't know if he was clear on this or not, but with the GPS, you have to follow a magenta line to wherever you're going. And however, I think Dan was explaining that this is not the case with the VOR. You can attack the VOR from any direction and it will always point you towards the middle of the VOR. If you picture a 360 degree circle, or a circle which is 360 degrees, if you picture 360 spokes from the center, starting at the very top and going all the way around until you get all the way around to the top again. Okay, that's what a VOR pretty much is going to look like if you try to visualize it. So depending on what direction you're coming at the VOR from, it'll always direct you towards the center of that VOR. So if you're coming from it from the west, okay, it'll tell you, if you're coming directly from west and it's directly east of you, it'll tell you fly 090 degrees. Similarly, if you're coming at it from the east, then it'll tell you, okay, 270, fly 270 degrees. So correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but I just wanted Warrington to understand that you can attack the VOR from any direction and it'll always guide you towards that VOR. Unlike the GPS, you got to fly fly with the magenta line.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, with those two barber poles that that we're calling them for the sake of identifying them. What are we looking for from that? Because the nav one's at the bottom, the GS one is kind of to the side. So are they gonna like marry up somehow, or how's it gonna look when I know that I'm looking at that I'm doing the right thing, basically?
Okay, and before I answer that, tell me what direction in the top one, the one with the nav and the GPS needles. What direction is your OBS pointing right now?
Well, it's pointing due north. There's like a little crown arrow that's pointing north, but the nav's at the south, and GS is at the east. Okay.
All right. What you're going to see when you take off on runway 08 is you are going to see the nav barber pole disappear, and you will see a white triangle replace it, and that the tip of that the peak of the triangle will be pointing upward. That triangle will be telling you were flying to the VOR. So the barber pole changed to a triangle. The glide slope barber pole will not change. That's only active when you're on a ILS approach with the glide slope. The other thing you'll see, because your OBS is pointing north right now, is you will see the needle will swing all the way to the side. It'll swing basically to. Let me look at the map here.
Is that
think about this.
Is that like the brownish needle?
Yeah. Well, no. The vertical. You see those two needles? They look like crosshairs right now.
Oh yeah.
That white needle will swing.
Right. Okay.
And then what you'll do, and it will swing to the right. I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at the map correctly. What you will do is you will turn the OBS knob until, like I said, it'll be roughly, you'll turn it to the right to 020, 025 degrees, something like that. And until that needle again, that vertical needle again centers. Looks just like the needle you're looking at right now.
Right, so I'm looking for it to be kind of like a cross, basically.
Exactly.
As long as I've got the cross, then I'm all good.
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
Sorry,
with that vertical. Now, when you find where the center needle, the vertical needle is centered, you'll be headed some direction, maybe 080 degree. Actually, I think it's going to swing to the left for you because I forgot which runway we were using here. Anyway, you'll once you center that needle, you'll find that your heading is going to be different than that wherever it centers, 020, 025. You need to turn then to that heading. Centering the needle does not mean you're headed to the VOR. Centering the needle only tells you what radio you're on. You then need to turn along that same radial and fly to the VOR. So if at that point you're headed, let's say you hold runway heading, and we'll do that. We'll hold 080. Going out, that your needle will swing to the left. You'll move, change your omni-bearing selector till the needle centers, and you'll turn to the left to the same heading your OBS points to. That's that little brown. That if you turn that right now, you'll see that circle around your omni head will rotate. And in fact, you can turn it to 020 or something roughly, because that's about what you're going to want.
It's got a center with a 2 indication.
So the only thing that thing's telling you is what radio you're on at that
That's exactly
second.
right. But the direction of flight has nothing to do with the radio you're on. If you continue, let's say in Audie's case, we want to fly basically to the north or the north-northeast, but we continue to fly east, we will continue to cross radials, and that will continually change. You'll be continually moving that to center the needle, but that's not what we want. We want to find the radial that we are and turn on that radial to fly to the VOR, and you will know you're on the right radial, or you're flying to the VOR if the little triangle is pointing upward and if the needle stays centered.
Starting to make sense now.
If the
right.
triangle points the other way, you're flying from the VOR.
Correct. And you need to rotate because we want to fly, in this case, we want to fly to. We will later on fly from a VOR. In this case, we want to fly to the VOR. So, for example, if you're if you had your omni bearing selector pointing at, say, 205 degrees, the little triangle would point the opposite way. You want to rotate it around until it's hitting 025 degrees, so it centers again, but with the little triangle up. I think you'll see this once we get in the air, so let's just get airborne. Any other questions before we roll out?
I did just get in.
You got questions?
Ooh,
No,
I got one.
I'm coming to get behind you guys.
Okay. Go ahead, Opie.
What is a VOR? Just kidding. So I see class started. I missed the beginning of class.
Did you read the materials ahead of time?
Nope.
Let me take him to another
Sorry.
room.
Gonna have to keep you after school.
Yeah, because I can explain it. Like I say, it's coming back. I flew this 25 years ago.
All right. Are you tuned to the reserve VOR?
I'm on 110.8.
Okay. Opie, are you? Oh. You okay? And it's in the active position. What are you flying, Opie?
Cessna.
Opie, what are you flying?
Oh, I'm not flying.
Oh, you're not. All
No.
right. Well, never mind. Let's go. Any other questions? I got a Baron. Yes, sir.
I'm also in a Cessna, just came in.
Okay. I see a Baron and 1, 2, 3, 4 Cessnas. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 Cessnas. Yes.
I'm in the air.
Just
And
a quick catch me up. Just tell me the settings I need to put into my radio stack.
you want your active nav1 frequency to be 110.80 megahertz. But once you get off the ground, your VOR should come alive, and then you can adjust your OBS to center the needle, fly in that direction, and we'll be there.
Ezzy, you've got your door open, by the way.
Oh yeah. Well, it looks open to me. I don't know. It might not be open to him. That's sometimes a server glitch. All right, and I will slow this horse down a little bit once I get in the air and kind of fly around a little bit to let everybody get up off the ground.
Opie, it'll make a lot more sense if you're sitting in a plane.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, I agree. Once everyone gets in the air, and you're actually seeing it work, a lot of light bulbs will go off in your head. Oh, okay.
All right, and I just passed through 250 feet sea level, and the VOR came alive, so it doesn't take very much altitude.
Audie,
Yes.
can I pinch you for a moment, please?
Sure.
Where do you want to go? Conference?
Sounds good to me.
User left your channel.
All right, and I'm going to make a left turn and kind of swing around and get behind everybody so everybody gets up off the ground. But you should see your VOR come alive. 200 or 300 feet above the ground. And I was close to being centered with a omni bearing heading, selector heading of 030 degrees. So it's a good rough place to start.
Yeah, see the triangle now, I know what you mean.
There you go.
But
Now,
I've got like a solid line that's pointing like complete different way. It's like
Yeah.
it looks like a backwards fall.
Yeah, then you need to rotate your Omni bearing selector. Well, first thing you need to do is get yourself up to altitude. Get your plane straight and level. Remember the order of things is aviate, navigate, and then communicate. So once you get yourself, and like I said, 1,000 feet's fine, 1,500 if you want. We're in safe of any controlled airspace if we do that. Not that that really counts in FSX, but it's a piece of reality. And once you do that, then you turn your Omni bearing selector knob, like I said, roughly somewhere around the 030, 025 to 030, and you'll see that your backwards 4 should become pretty much a cross again.
Got it.
Alright, and once you find where it centers, you need to then turn your aircraft to that same heading at this point. So if it's pointing to 030, 035, 025, whatever, you need to turn in that direction. So your compass points the same way your VOR is pointing. Alright, is there anybody that does not have the needle centered?
User joined your channel. Buddy joined your channel.
Now, one thing I didn't mention, but very simple to see, at least those that have the Bendix radio stack, like in the Cessna 172 or the Baron, is the DME. Remember, I said where we're headed is, directly to the reserve VOR, and it's about 24 nautical miles away. And right now, I think I'm kind of swung behind everybody, so I'm about 21 miles away. So you'll know when you get to the VOR by a couple of things. One will be that DME distance will go to 0. The other will be that your VOR needle will go crazy. In reality, you probably don't want to have either one of those things happen. You want somewhere about 3 miles out to be looking for the airport. We are landing at St. John the Baptist Parish Airport, 1 Lima 0, and we will go, looks like runway 35, I believe, the north pointing runway, basically the most straight in. Audio set the server so we don't have to worry about winds, so we'll use the most convenient runway. And when you get there, simply land. We'll do our next leg once, and we'll try and turn around quickly. We won't try to spend too much time on the ground. Any questions?
I don't know what I was fretting about, to be honest.
It is very simple. And
I
like
think
I said,
it's just the concept of it, because I've never done it before. It's like rabbit in a headlight sort of situation, and now it's pretty easy.
It is very straightforward. Once you see it, that's why I wanted everybody to just get up in the air, because we can talk all day about it, but it comes pretty simple.
Everything's copacetic. I changed the radio with the OBS.
It'll turn you until it gets, and you can experiment with that. Actually, if you If you change the radial, move it about, move it 5 degrees or so, the plane will fly over, intercept the radial, and then fly you along that radial.
So if you wanted to approach the airport from a certain direction, that would be a way to do it.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. You can go over and intercept it yourself, or you can get on some radial that's reasonably close, and then just, give her a crank one way or another and intercept the radial. The downside of doing that is that you really want to kind of control the distance where, that you're well established on a radial. So depending on how far out you are, the autopilot might not move you as quickly in the right direction as you would like. Small changes that might work out okay. I prefer to move myself over and then hit the nav button again and hold it.
So you'd want to know where you're approaching the airport long before you want to set your radius.
Exactly. If you want for some reason to be on the 060 radial into an airport, you don't want to, have it end up putting you on that radial, half a mile away from the airport, which the autopilot might, depending on the angle logic that it has. You want to fly over more or less to that radial and then punch it and let it move you over, or let it hold you there, several miles out. A half mile away from the airport that it's going to end up putting you is probably not where you want to end up. But nonetheless, as you described, for example, if you are flying to a VOR and then overflying it and continuing from that VOR, you could actually do that. You could when you pass over, and let's say we're flying on a 030 degree radial, but we want to overfly this VOR and fly outbound on the 060 degree radial from the VOR. You could do that very thing. And we'll get a little bit more into the to and from aspect, but that would work pretty well, because it would move you over gradually to that line.
Only be a quick second.
Now, if y'all have aircraft with DME, which I think most of you do, in the Bendix stack, it should be about 5 nautical miles out. And in fact, on the other side of those smokestacks, you should be able to see the airport. Unfamiliar airports, the proper technique is to overfly. If you have good runway in sight, we'll be landing runway 35. Don't forget to disconnect your autopilot, get yourself lined up.
It's good to set up flight plans where you set up VOR to VOR and you have to punch everything in.
Yeah, with the intro section here, I wanted folks to have like little discrete things. So a nice cross-country VOR to VOR flight is a fun thing to do. And if is OP, are you still here? You will have to demonstrate your ability to do that for your pilot's license.
The ability to the VOR?
Do a cross-country VOR to VOR flight, yes.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that, to be honest.
They're actually very simple. Admittedly, your instructor could say, "Oh yeah, we'll do just a cross-country GPS," but I wouldn't bet on that. And then 27 Golf left turn to final for runway 35, John the Baptist.
Dan, would it be possible to join your lesson at this point.
Oh, certainly. We can catch you up.
What kind
no
of
problem.
aircraft are you guys flying?
We got. I'm in the Baron, keeping it a little slow. There's one other, and there's several folks in the Cessna 172. Either one will work.
Very good. What airport?
We are coming into St. John the Baptist, and I'll give you the code in there in just a second, so I can crash into the street. It is 1 Lima 0.
يدخلون تراهم 139 البعيدات. غدروا في عالي ولا شوف ايش لا انا قاعد اكتب دي لا تكتب اسم شيء انا ما اكتب تقميص يكتب اكس دي يبغون يقدرون خوي وقت وش خوي تاتري باب هيك اقول يا حسن كلوزك اقبل لا تطقطق عليهم واحد جاء عشان يثبت البنت شات ريبورت انجوي
And for those in the 172, I will do my best. The Omni heads are different. The Baron 58 uses an HSI. The 172 uses a conventional Omni head. I have a special Baron. I've equipped it with both. So.
جلدها عالي جلدها فاقول تعال حايل شوف حدد ما جاء يتكلم هو قول انت بويا هطف
قولوا له اول ما تدخلوا جيم
انا ولد يا لحجي
Oh, Ms. Jammers, I see you over there on the ramp. Welcome to the party.
Welcome. قبل شوي اعتقد كنت داخل معاه جالس يقول اوه دولي اورماين
اصبر لا اسكت
والله انا كنت دخلت عليه قال اوه اورمان جالس ربي يرجف والله انه جالس يرجف
مين اصبر
هذا
We'll try and catch you up here a little bit while everybody comes in. Did you you probably weren't here for the flight plan download?
يا ماله
كيف؟
So I will repost that.
ليش تتكلم بدال هذا يقول ليش تتكلم بدال لافا قول له كذا ماله قول كذا
Thank you, Kaz. Right on cue.
شنو اسمه ياسمين
Hey, Ms. Jammers, when you click on that link, at least for me, I know for some others, it opened up as a web page, and the first page for some reason didn't appear. Maybe other pages don't appear either, but that won't matter in your case because we're already through the first page. But if you in that web page, if you look up in the upper right portion and click download, it'll download the file. You can open it with Adobe Acrobat Reader and be able to see that. I will also give the frequencies and the destinations. So if you want to, as a fallback, just jot it down on a piece of paper with a pencil, and you'll be good to go.
كم
يلا دقيقة باقي تو خلص ايام
خلص
يا باقي هم يا هب يلا هب بسرعة يا ابو خالد وردي يلا لك انا قاعد
فرنت لست واعرف لنا
ياب انا قاعد في سبام ها كم
I got a question.
يلا قاعد ادور
Fire away.
What's about the maximum range that a VOR is any good?
Depends on the VOR. There are 3 levels of VORs in general. Maximum range of a VOR is something around 200 statute miles, a little less, maybe a little more, a little less. So that puts it probably at 185 or so, 185 nautical miles reliably. There are lower power VORs, may only be 60 miles or so. The problem is, how do you know?
Yeah, 'cause if you're going to do your own flight plan, of course, you wouldn't want to stretch the distance any further than what the range is, obviously.
That's right.
Unless you don't mind looking for it.
Well, that's true. Actually, I will tell you a story about a time I flew someone up to from Maryland up to Massachusetts. And as you know, VOR flying, you tend to move, right and left a little bit along the line, kind of jig-jog. It was a gorgeous day. I basically dead reckoned between VORs till I could pick them up again. So that is an acceptable technique as long as you maintain VFR and so. Just confidence in your pilotage and dead reckoning, and by the time you pick it up, you refine the radio and you fly right on to it. So if you're
that's where you can use the outbound radio on one you just left.
Well, that's true too. That's the other technique. If you're flying one VOR to another, and you really are like in this case, I was distancing myself, so I lost one before I picked up the other. Not very many miles, maybe 20. But you would fly outbound from until that one went off, turn to the other one, and wait for it to come alive, and then fly to it. You also notice sometimes if you're looking at IFR charts that airways will be split, and they will point you, at one point they're using the outbound VOR as defining VOR and that radio to along that route, and then you will switch to the inbound one, the little sort of S-shaped. With a square S shape, with an arrow pointing one way and an arrow pointing the other way, indicating that at that point you need to switch VORs. See, we got one more plane in the air.
Hey Dan.
Yes, sir.
Your flight plan write-up's about VOR HMY, like in Yankee, and I think it's HM uniform you wanted.
Oh, sorry, typo. I put this together quickly this morning, so apologize for errors. Believe the picture, not the print.
Dan did not find where that download is for the flight plan.
In the flight training room tab of the TeamSpeak. Should be the one Kazi just posted, starting at L83 flight plan, and then link. You see that?
We got about 2 minutes yet?
Yeah, we got a couple minutes.
VOR flying requires a beer.
Oh yeah.
I
got an avatar for that.
So is the next airport KHDC then?
The next airport is KHDC, that's correct. And I believe that's where Al pointed out I had a typo in the VOR we are headed for is the Hammond VOR HMU uniform, 109.6 megahertz.
وربي شرب بماله وربي شرب.
Ms. Jammers, did you get that flight plan? Do you see that link?
It's in the circle of death right now.
Roger that.
Hello, Miss Jammers.
عندكم في دروع ولا كيف؟
صار كلهم سلكتين. شوف جالس كلهم.
So, same thing, same principle. We're going to take off to the north, move over a little towards the right to point at the Hammond VOR 109.6 megahertz. Adjust your so put that frequency as the active frequency in VOR 1. Once you're off the ground, adjust your omni-bearing selector accordingly till it's centered, turn to that heading, and fly to the VOR. Again, we have another on-field VOR at Hammond Regional, North Shore Regional, Kilo Hotel Delta Charlie. And we will again land on the north runway there, which on this on the sectional looks like probably 36. I'll double check that.
Just got back. What's that frequency again, please?
It is 109.6.
There is a 36 runway.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much straight in 36. It's 5,000 feet planes.
ترى مسجين 111 يا 111 نطلع وراهم لا تنزل المنبر ما تقدرون تدخلون.
طلعوا؟
ايه تسعة احسن كذا كل احسن.
And for those who came into this airport, if you look at that first leg 1 diagram on the sectional, you'll notice that there was a very obvious body of water that we passed over. It's right there on the sectional. 3 or 4 miles southwest of the airport, and proper pilotage technique would say, gee, get to the river, turn right, fly down the river, turn left, the base to final, and that's pretty much right. And we got everybody on the ground. We got everybody with a flight plan, and we got everybody with a beer that wants a beer.
No,
I want beer and bacon.
Still circle of death there, Ms. Jammers?
Hold on, my co-pilot's back. Oh, here we go. Nope, got it.
بدأ الجيم حقهم؟
111 هم.
And it opened as a web page.
أخرج
لا أنت منظر حتى لا يهطف ليه؟
Or did it open directly as a Adobe Acrobat PDF document?
بدأ حقهم.
It is a PDF document.
المرة الجاية اسمعني المرة نبي تحقيق واسع تدخل يمين
يسار. So we're on leg 2, which is typos notwithstanding, our current airport 1 Lima 0, and we are headed to the Hammond VOR 109.6. And we are going to land at Hammond North Shore Regional Kilo Hotel Delta Charlie. So you want 109.6 in nav 1 active frequency. When you, we will depart runway 35. When you get up off the ground, get out of the patterns. And again, altitude doesn't have to be very high. 1,000 feet is fine. 1,500 if you prefer, but I wouldn't go too much higher because it's not a very long hop. Then you need to turn your omni-bearing selector until your VOR needle, and this will be VOR 1, it's the conventional one to use when you're using a single VOR, is in the center. And you're in the 172, yes, I already saw that. And so you will turn that needle so that card will rotate around until the needle is centered, and there will be a little white triangle at the bottom. We're looking at the vertical needle only, not the horizontal needle. That's a glide slope needle. On that one, that it's not in use. You will see that the little red and white bar that's on the right side next to the letters GS will remain a little red and white barber pole, indicating it is not active. The little, if you have a little red and white bar right now, when you get up on the bottom, it will become active. The triangle should point up. Move your omni-bearing selector until the needle centers, and whatever the heading is under the little brown triangle at the top of the card should be something around 020 degrees, give or take. Turn your aircraft to that, keep that needle centered, and you'll be there. All right. Any other questions from anybody before we leave?
Just point out, if you look across the runway, you can see the VOR station.
Oh yes, thank you. I meant to point that out. Let's see, where is it?
Is it that one with the flashing beacon?
على اخوك ابراهيم. Down a little to your right.
لا
No, it's on the other side of the runway.
A little to my right. Dan, I'm looking right over the right side of my dashboard, and I see a little thing out there with a cone on top.
That's right, yeah. You're kind of pointing at it, Dan, just a little to your right. It's on the other side of, behind the trees on the other side.
I was going to say, I think it might be behind the tree. Let me pull out.
Yeah, it probably depends on your graphics setting too. If they're low, you can see it easier. Mine's low.
This BMC.
Yeah, mine's set up pretty high, so I ought to be able to see it here.
This BMC.
Just about pointing at it now. You went past it a little bit.
Oh yeah, it was behind the trees. I see it over there.
خلاص عيال ببندهم شوف هذولا كانوا مع مين
All right,
كمان
let's see. Verifying after all of that, I had the right 109.6.
هذاك الحين ببندهم
Alright, and everyone, I have no signal at this point, so again, this will be one we pick up once we're in the air. Back to the center.
Dan, sorry I'm late. What aircraft and what airport?
I think we're at leaving 1 Lima Zero, is that correct? And a couple of Barons and 4 or 5 Cessna 172s. These are very short hops. The idea is to get as much different VOR scenarios in a quick period of time. So.
Okay, 1 Lima what?
1 Lima Zero.
Thank you very much.
6 تيم صورتهم هم 6 تيم.
It's in Louisiana.
هم اللي بالرسبانس صح؟ يب.
اكتب لنا 6 تيم باند مبروك الباند.
All right, again, I'm just a couple 300 feet above the ground, and
take off your
VOR is live.
شوف يا ليل ما
I knew that.
Okay, sorry.
I was joking, I didn't really.
انا ما قاعد اززها قلت قالت بخاف ما عليك.
I'm a good bluffer.
He was testing.
Yeah, I was just testing if anyone could see.
شوف
والله تصبوهم والله تصبوهم.
انت موجود يا سنيك موجود. شوف يا ميسينج شوف هي تقول ميسينج وذ ذا رونج بيبل انا قلت ايه ميسينج وذ بويات. شاطر ضحكتنا والله دغدغني. يا شوف ايه بتني معها خلاص.
والله بان 6 تيم صورت.
يا عيال شوف ايه بتقول اني معهم خلاص.
يا عيال ايه يا عيال كتبت بالانجليزي 6 تيم، اي خلوني اكتبها.
الله يرايك يا جيمر.
Buddy left your channel. User in your channel timed out.
اي خلوني اكتبها.
شوفني
انا مسليك عليه ضحكه.
الابوك دخل احسن منك يا البقر.
سناك
حسنات ما
يا عيال قلت انا بس بنديهم اذا قالت لي بقول الكفو. بقلب عليك. ما تضبطها يا
عيال من يتكلم والله من يبلع.
شوف والله شوي يتحمل والله من جد. قاعد يقولوا اعطوني حسنات، قبل شوي يقول تعال وانت رجال تجيب سبيكر.
اهم شيء 7 تيم والله. انيك منيك خوت الكحف.
يا شوف ايش بكتب.
Any questions for anybody?
Just one right now. I'm on the radio. I'm going to the VOR, but my DME isn't showing anything yet.
And it will not. Now, in this case, the Hammond North Shore Regional Airport overlies exactly over the VOR, so you do not see the VOR symbol. But on the flight plan, that little piece of the sectional, you'll see in the lower right-hand portion of the VOR compass rose there, it says simply VOR. If it had VOR and DME, it would say VOR/DME. There is none for this one. So this is when your piloting skills come in handy, but in reality, and you can see from that section that you fly over Lake Maurepas, and then you fly over a little piece of town and identify some things. So get some hints on when to start looking for the airport, and basically something like this, you generally will see the airport in good conditions. If you overfly the VOR, and you will see things change, the needle will swing. In fact, it'll go. It may go silent on you, or it may simply swing fairly widely, and the to from triangle will go from to to from. You know you've just overflown the VOR, and in this case, just overflown the airport. So that'll orient you. But, it is fair to look ahead, and then we'll land straight in 3-6. You can turn a little right base to left, and then left turn to final, and go right into 3-6, practically straight in. Or, actually, to what you were saying, is that if you want to move over and actually point head in due north, that would be another technique you could use.
Well, I'm going to play around with that. I'm going to set up the radio for the north radio, and then head a little bit to the right until I start intercepting it, and then start turning north.
Exactly. Yeah, and in fact, I'm doing that very thing myself. I'm turning to 050 degrees, which is about a 30-degree angle from our current course, and that 30-degree angle rule works pretty well for most things. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to track, what I prefer to do is track the needle, so I'll let it slide to the left until it gets about 4 notches over, which is 8 degrees. VORs, each one of those little dots on your VOR head is 2 degrees. A full deflection is 10 degrees. However, if it's fully deflected, doesn't mean you're 10 degrees. It could mean you're 50 degrees off. That's you pin the needle, you peg the needle as far as it goes.
أقول ما سمعت ضحكة ماجد. تبي أحد يسحبها.
But for those that understand that little technique, turning to the right, I'm heading like I said 050 degrees. I'm watching the needle slide over, moving my OBS heading towards north. When it's due north, that's the heading we'll take. In fact, I will tell you in a moment just exactly what the runway heading is. Stand by.
It's 36.
It is 360?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. All right, so due north.
Can I get a VOR or a VOR frequency, please?
Yes, sir. 109.60.
تعلموا ذا سناب شات، اضرار السناب شات والعياذ بالله.
شو تقول لي ينشر صوره من زين وجيهك يعني ينشرها ها.
So is this how you normally do short hops and Dan?
Yes, it is, and I've done this in CRJ 700 and